It is an invasion of the sovereign love of God penetrating the gap of darkness with the overwhelming power of His marvelous light. It bridges the gap between man and God. Take a journey through the amazing grace of God with your host, Sarah Abraham, as she shares the compelling stories of those who walked in His covenant and have overcome by the amazing grace of God.
And now, your host, Sarah Abraham.
Welcome to Amazing Grace. We here at Destiny TV are delighted that you have tuned into us to watch our program Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace is a free gift given by our Lord for every one of us. Amazing Grace is sufficient for us. You know, the amazing love of God is with us all the time, no matter what our circumstances are or what our situations are. God's grace is sufficient to all of us. I'm so delighted that we have Miss Yamil Jackson, an amazing mother, an amazing inventor,
Thank you.
and amazing woman of God here with us. Thank you and welcome to our show,
Thank
Yamil.
you. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely. I've read a lot of information about your background and your journey that you have come through with your son Zachary, your hospital experience, and how it kind of the whole journey. Take us back to the day when you were pregnant with Zachary.
Yeah, Zachary was born when I was 28 weeks pregnant, so he was 12 weeks early. And I had preeclampsia, which is a pregnancy-induced illness.
Explain that a little bit.
Well, actually, preeclampsia, nobody knows why it happens. And sometimes it's not severe, so you can stay in bed and they can, the doctors will monitor you very, very much. What happened to me was that it got severe very quickly. So the blood pressure was very high, my kidneys started to fail, and basically if they didn't deliver Zach, then we were both at risk of dying.
So his labor was induced, or was it a C-section?
It was emergency C-section. Yeah, I never had any labor. I mean, he was not wanting to come out. It was just that to save my life, he had to be born.
He had to be born.
So I always say he saved my life.
And he was born in Houston?
Houston, yes, at the medical
hospital?
center. Memorial Hermann.
Memorial Hermann.
At the medical center.
Oh, good advertisement for Memorial Hermann.
I love that hospital. I am #1 fan. They not only saved my life, they saved Zachary's life, and they save lives every day. So
tell us a little bit about how was the beginning stages of Zachary's life. What were the complications, and what were the things that doctors were telling you?
Babies that are born preemies, the doctors always tell you what to expect. Zachary had a very high rate of survival, chance of survival. He had about 80 to 85% chance of survival. But they also tell you all the complications that they will have or they might have for the rest of his life. So, from having problems with being blind or deaf or any neurological problems, cerebral palsy, all kinds of disabilities that they can have because they didn't have enough time to develop inside the womb. So yes, that is very difficult because you want to save his life, and everybody is trying to save his life. And I have a PhD in ergonomics engineering, and to me, not only saving his life was important, but what kind of quality of life can I give him? I would see him in the incubator and full of, tubes and equipment, and in isolation. And I always felt, I always know that when you're in jail and they want to give you the best, the worst punishment,
they put you in isolation.
They put you in isolation. And I didn't want that to be what Zachary was learning about the world. Everything was painful, everything, it was detachment from me. And so I use my experience in work, my education. I have a PhD in ergonomics engineering, and I wanted to make his life a little bit better, a little bit, you know.
Can I show
next
some
to me.
pictures of him as a
Yes.
baby?
That is Zachary with the first Zaki.
The first Zaki. Oh.
Yeah. So the first Zaki came because I wanted, you know, the nurses taught me how to use my hands to comfort him. And I didn't, I was not there 24 hours. I was not allowed to be there 24 hours. So I was like.
Yamil, this is
That's my
him holding,
husband's.
oh, it's your husband's hands?
That was the first day of life of Zach.
Oh.
Yeah, very little. He weighed less than 2 pounds
Less than 2
when
pounds.
he was born. Yes.
When did you find out that Zaki has this preeclampsia? Am
I was
saying
the
it
one
right?
with preeclampsia.
Oh, you were the
Yes.
one. He was.
No, he was.
Oh, it's only
he
the
was-
mother.
It's
gets
the
that.
mother. It's a condition of the mom.
Okay.
And sometimes, really, the only
So the
way.
baby's life is not in jeopardy. It's the mom's.
The life of the baby is in jeopardy because of the gestation
Okay.
age.
Okay.
You know, surviving in the environment where they're not supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
in. So the womb is a very, you know, aquatic environment, and they have to use their lungs in, you know, when they are born. Breathing, all the organs that, you know, that they're not supposed to. He was not supposed to use for another 3 months. He's using them when they're still very undeveloped. So that's what is
And the complications develop because of that.
Yeah, the lungs.
So what did the doctors and the nurses at the NICU say when he was born? What was the prognosis they gave him?
His lungs were compromised. He was in a ventilator, and they also had to put him in a
Incubator?
incubator, because he couldn't get warm. He didn't generate his own heat, and ventilator to help him breathe. And, you know, types of medication, you know, it's just the work that doctors and nurses and all the team in the NICU do is amazing to save these little kids, because, you know, to give them, you know, a chance to be alive and to be well. So they were the ones telling me how to hold my child, how to use my hands to comfort him, how to position him. Because remember, I mean, when they're little, they're not fully developed, so it's like clay. You know, if you position them wrong, that's where they're going to be, you know, further developing. So we want to position them correctly. They're humans like us,
So they
and I
still
always
may have
feel
some feelings and.
absolutely. I mean, you could tell he knew when I was there. He would get calm when I was there. My concern was what happens if I'm not there or when I'm not there, and that's how the Zaki came up.
You mentioned your degree is in ergonomics, and tell our audience, what is ergonomics? What is this the study of? What is the specialty? What is?
Ergonomics is a field that we study the interrelations between the machines and the environment and the person. And
so it's the machine, the environment, and the person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So probably everybody has heard ergonomic chairs, for example. So what they do is they have features that will position the person correctly to prevent backaches and to prevent musculoskeletal
You know, I always
deficiencies.
relate ergonomics with earth-friendly, green.
No,
So,
no. It's more the relationship between
The
like
human body.
processes. Yes, exactly. Chairs, you know, ergonomic chairs, and we do a lot of work with adults. You know, how can, for example, a software can be ergonomic because they, you know, it's very intuitive. The more intuitive something is designed, you know, the more ergonomic it is. You don't.
so kind of user-friendly,
User-friendly, absolutely. Yes. It's,
and good for our body.
yes. When it's used for medicine or for chairs, or, you know, you've heard, for example, mouse that are ergonomic and keyboards that are ergonomic.
Yes, yes, yes.
What that is that they prevent a bad position. They will keep in a good position so you don't have
carpal tunnel
problems, carpal
syndromes
tunnel
and things like
syndromes,
that. Okay.
backaches. Yes. So, you know, with the work that we do for adults, I was looking at my son where we, you know, he had his own environment, but his own environment was just this little box that didn't provide any stimulation.
Yes.
So he was literally in solitary confinement. So my job was to, how can I help him develop, and how can I teach him that he has a mom?
You know, I will talk about Zacky's, I mean, I can't wait, but before that, you know, can you tell our audience, how was it as a mom, a mother of a preemie baby? What effect did it have on you?
Well, I always wanted to be a mom, and Zachary is my only child.
Zacky is your only child, okay.
Yes. And it is extremely unnatural to go home after you give birth without your child. And I did that for 5 months because he was hospitalized for 5 months. Not knowing if, you know, nobody told me, you know, what are the chances that he's going to be normal, you know, how, or when they said the chances are very small, but my concern was, how can I turn that into, you know, how can I help him in ways that doctors can't? It's traumatic. It's probably, you know, I think nothing compares to having a sick child.
So you
and
really
it's not
didn't
necessarily, and you know, there is a lot of research that shows that leaving a baby when he's little, it's very traumatic for the mom. Whether the mom, you know, whether the child is hospitalized, whether the mom is hospitalized, whether the mom goes to work, they travel for work, or, you know, military families that they have to be separated, is traumatic for everyone.
And I think it adds more to it when you give birth to a child and then you go home empty-handed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because all the gestational period, all the 6 months or 9 months of pregnancy, you have this dream of you're going to give birth to this baby, and then you're going to go home, the nurturing and the bonding. It's very difficult.
And when you have a preemie, especially when it's a small preemie like Zach, moms have to mourn the stopping of the pregnancy, because, you know, we look forward to having big bellies, big pictures, and the Gerber baby and the pretty baby, and everybody saying you know, congratulations, and balloons, and everybody coming to the house, and, you know, be very festive, especially, you know, I'm
And
Hispanic,
that's a normal
and that's
expectation.
a normal expectation, exactly. Having pictures of the toes and having pictures of the hands and all that, and when Zachary was born, looking back, we got a lot of flowers and all that, and they were all very sad tone. You know, we wish you were, you know, we pray for you, and there was not this happiness that usually accompanies the
So
a
more
birth
of
a baby.
consolation than congratulations. You know,
More
comforting.
like we're praying for you. We're,
Yes.
you know, you're going to be okay. Tell us what you need. I mean, the support from everyone has, you know, is.
You know,
is
Yamil,
amazing.
one thing after I read your bio was, you know, some part of you focused, instead of having a pity party or being sad or being depressed, you were focused to do something or let something better come out of the situation you were in. So this is, you know, the beautiful thing. I don't know, I picked up a baby girl. You know, this is called Zacky. That is an invention of Yamil. Come in so many different colors. I love the purple, lavender, whatever. How beautiful this is. So explain to us how this came into being and what is it used for?
So the Zacky is basically the first Zacky that I made, which I obviously didn't call it the Zacky, was a garden glove. I wanted Zachary to know I was his mom. I was always very, one of my bad thoughts were how does he know I love him? Because I know I love him, but how does he know I love him if I abandon him every day, if I let all these people do all these horrible, painful things? How does he know that I'm the mom if all these people are touching him? And how does he know that,
Your touch is different.
I'm there, exactly. And, having the hands and using the hands and holding him on skin to skin, which is kangaroo care, as much as I could. But I was like, who's going to be there when I'm not there? And, the nurses are wonderful people, very professional. They take care of all the babies, but they really couldn't give him the care that I could, emotional support, being there, giving him a hand, just cheering for him the way that I could. So I made the first Zaki with a garden glove, and I would sleep with it, and my husband would sleep with it to get our scent and leave it with him when we were not there.
And you said that calmed him.
Absolutely.
The doctors and the nurses definitely saw a difference.
Yes, and that the very first day that we used it, the nurses commented of how well he was doing. And so I kept using it, but he was getting larger and bigger, and he needed more weight, he needed more area of contact, so I had to get bigger gloves and until then have 2 or 3 or 4 to be able to to give him the support that we wanted, because it's not just the scent. We want to give him the weight as I was like,
hand.
how can we simulate holding him? So it simulates the hands of the baby. If we have, one of the things that it took 3.5 years to develop what it is now, but some of the challenges were how, I wanted the same product, the same size to help every child. I didn't want to make small, medium, and large, or light, medium, and heavy. And with these, having it like this, if you have a very small child, you put the weight of the fabric only.
Okay.
Babies that are 6, 7, 8 pounds, healthy newborns can use the whole weight of the Zaki. I wanted it to be scented, so it has 2 different layers of fabric where they hold the scent until you wash it again. They come with a washing bag. You put it in the washer and dryer with the rest of the clothes of the babies. If you need the baby on the side or have a roll, you just turn it over, and then you use to put it on the side of the child in the back, so the baby doesn't roll over. Sometimes babies only can sleep like that.
So normally 1 glove per baby?
We use 2 gloves, 2 Zakis. If it's the cutting point is about 6 months, unless there is something wrong. For example, if a baby that is 8 months old can't sleep more than 3 hours at a time, for example, then we use 2. But if it's for supporting, for comfort, for positioning, we use 2. So up to 6 months, healthy baby, 6 months, or what we call corrected age, 6 months. We use 2 because we need comfort, support, and both hands.
Talk about the kangaroos.
The Kangaroo Zak is a product that I did. I am Colombian, and when I was a girl in Colombia, there was in the news that in Colombia they invented this process called the kangaroo care. And it was for preemies. Mm-hmm. And just as the Zaki, we started with preemies, and the practice goes with healthy babies also. But this is a shirt or a top that wraps around the adult, the torso of the adult, and nothing underneath. It just has to be obviously skin to skin. And then we put the baby on the chest, on the mom, and then we just hold the baby on skin to skin. This is only, babies really kangaroo only up to 3 months of age. After that, they get too hot and they want to get out, and that's when you do the slings and the carriers, where the mom is dressed and the baby is dressed. But this is specifically for kangaroo care. So
So is it only for preemies, kangaroo?
no,
Or just normal
actually
babies?
both products is for, well, this is the kangaroo care practice is preemies of any age for 6 months and full-term babies for 3 months.
3 months, okay.
We call kangaroo care the 4th trimester, and is when we help the babies go from the environment of the womb to being, you know, alone in gravity in their beds.
Tell us about Zachary now. How old is he? What is he into? Sports, schools?
Zachary is he's 13, and he is 7th grade and very active. He's very smart, very funny.
Normal
He loves
height and
sports. Yes, boys that are preemies pretty much level at about 8 years old.
weight? Okay.
So he leveled. His dad is pretty tall. He likes golf, and he loves art, and he's funny. He loves to travel with us. We just came from a trip that he loved very much, and obviously all the good things is because they're very objective opinion of his mother. But you know, seriously, the outcome of Zachary is, it should be normal for everyone. It should be that he's connected with his mom. One of the things that the nurses told me was that he, you know, babies that are in the NICU grow up to, you know, and they don't like to be touched. So I just couldn't imagine giving Zachary a life without human touch.
Human touch.
So, you know, that helps a lot, and the Zackies help a lot, and you know, help babies that they have to be alone, not necessarily just preemies, but you know, moms that have to go to work, that travel.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. Sometimes mom's 6 weeks or 10 weeks you get off, and then you
Sometimes
have
it's
to
a
go to
couple of
work.
days,
And even
yeah.
this would be, or moms who travel for their job.
Yeah.
You know, this would be
Military
something,
people,
yes,
yeah.
would be so comforting to
Yeah.
feel the scent and the warmth of a mom's
and
hands.
babies, and one of the things is babies only develop the brain when they are sleeping. So we want to have them sleep as much as possible.
Possible.
And you know, swaddling is not developmentally appropriate because it
Constricts them. Mhm.
and yeah, the babies need to move. You can do that, like if you're doing a procedure, you can swaddle, but you know, it's causing, sometimes if they swaddle too tight, it causes hip dysplasia and all that.
Oh.
I compare swaddling with a straitjacket for an adult. You know,
It's
it
a lot
has
of
some
comparison
moments.
with prisons, yeah.
Yes, it has a moment, and it could work for a little bit, but you don't want to have them
24
the
hours.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, one of the other thing that I read about you was, you know, you met another amazing woman that I respect, Oprah Winfrey. How was that experience?
Oh my goodness, Oprah was probably the first person that I saw on TV when I came to the U.S. and I would watch her, and she came to Houston to do her tour. It's called the Life You Want Weekend, and she selected one. She has 8. She went to 8 cities, and in each city she selected one, what she called a bold woman that exemplified what the theme of the weekend was. And so she selected me, and she did a beautiful video that is on our website about our story and about Zach. And
was Zach there?
Zachary was, yes, he went with me to all the taping. He loves the
publicity,
behind the scenes.
Oh, behind the scenes,
he
okay.
loves, yeah, he's going to probably
do something with production or
yeah,
media.
I think so. He
yeah?
loves the behind the scenes. He likes to be the crew when they have tapes. But yeah.
So that was an amazing experience, huh?
Yes, yeah. I couldn't ask for more. To be
Wonderful.
recognized, to, you know, from people like you and like Oprah, and is just amazing. That
I call those, my own phrase, divine connections.
yes,
Sometimes you need that connections coming up together, and God enables us to happen. And you have a beautiful product, you have an amazing son, and of course you're an amazing
thank you.
woman. And I had to give credit to your husband too. What is his name?
His name is Larry.
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 Thank you, Larry, for your part in this amazing journey of Yamil.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank our viewers for tuning in and listening to this amazing mother, how she has overcome the situation. And this holiday season is especially difficult for families and for people to come together. But this is a wonderful praise report, 13 years of how she walked from an adverse situation to a victorious situation and where she is today. If you need more information about Yamil Jackson or any of the Zaki's products, please call the number on your screen, and we'll be happy to provide this for you. And you just keep walking in the amazing grace of God. I'm Sarah Abraham. Till next time, God bless you.